Welcome back, friends. It's good to see you again. This is episode 31 of the Holistic Ease podcast, and today we are going to be talking about the upcoming solstice and a couple of resources as well as some sales that I have going for you that should help you through this time of year to have a more joyous, joyful time and to live more intentionally. So thank you so much for having me in your life, allowing me to speak some truth to you about how to live a more holistic lifestyle, and I hope that the things that I bring to you today are going to help you a whole bunch. So first of all, I wanted to start with some announcements today. There's so many exciting things happening right now with the Apothecary and with my online school, the Arcadia Empowerment Collective. In fact, there's so much going on, I don't even know where to start to tell you about all of the exciting things that are currently happening and that are going to be released soon. A couple of things I want to let you know about right away. First of all, the Intuitive and Seasonal Living Academy is an online school that I have talked about for a long time that is a collaboration between myself and my partner, Corianne Faith. And this is a school that takes you season by season and helps you to learn how to live more intuitively, in other words, more in tune with your inner voice and your inner knowing, taking cues from what's happening in nature and from the ancient wisdom traditions of traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda. I also have a bunch of aromatherapy in there for you. So Corey brings in the personal development that's pertinent to you in each season. I bring in the TCM, Ayurveda, and aromatherapy and bring in that holistic side of things. And together we teach you how to leverage what is available to you in each season and how to diminish the things that are weaknesses of ourselves in each season. It is an amazing, amazing opportunity for you to learn how to live more of a holistic lifestyle. And if that is you, this is definitely something that you want to check out. Now, the Intuitive and Seasonal Living Academy has a new home as of this week, and that is under the umbrella of my school, the Arcadia Empowerment Collective. We have a couple of things going on for you that should be helpful to you if you want to get started with the Intuitive and Seasonal Living Academy. The first is that we are doing a flash sale on the fall session of the Intuitive and Seasonal Living Academy, and this is just for this week from now through the solstice. So the night of the 21st at midnight, it will be your last chance to take advantage of this sale. And how you can take advantage of that sale is you can go to bit.ly/Isla Fall. So bit.ly/ISLAFALL. That will bring you to the page for the Intuitive and Seasonal Living Academy fall session. And with that, you can use the code FALL20. So all caps FALL20, and that will give you the 20% off on that fall session. So even though fall is coming to a close, if that was something that you were hoping to take advantage of and maybe you have more time now, or maybe it's something that you want to be able to come back to later and you want to get the discounted pricing on that, that is definitely something that you want to take advantage of. While you're there, I would encourage you to look at all of the other course offerings, including the full season, the full year of all of the seasons, I should say, of the Intuitive and Seasonal Living Academy, because when you purchase those together, you get a significant discount. And because I was able to move this over to my platform, I also am able to offer you different payment plans on these classes that I have not been able to offer you before. So that is really exciting. You're going to want to check that out. You can always just do a Google search for the Arcadia Empowerment Collective and find the school that way as well. Okay, some of you come to me through my apothecary, which is where I have a lot of natural products that I've created, as well as herbs, essential oils, a lot of those tools and resources that you need to live a more holistic lifestyle with ease that are custom made by myself. I've been doing product creation for over 20 years. It's something that I love to do, and it's something that I love to offer to you. So if you want to check out the apothecary, you simply need to go to prairiearomatherapy.com and then go to the apothecary shop button. Should be right there in the center of the screen after you get through the welcome page. And with this, there are a couple of categories that I am offering at 20% off as a solstice sale. There's the men's category, there's soaps, and then there's the elemental aromatherapy. So to take advantage of any of those categories and that 20% off sale, you can just simply add any of those categories to your cart, and at checkout you can use the coupon code STAR20, STAR20. If you're a person that just wants to load up on a bunch of products, you know it's time to stock up, or maybe you've been waiting to try something, I'm also offering free shipping on orders over 75. And this is an either or. You cannot stack these discounts. It's not even my choice. It's the way the commerce platform is set up. If you want that free shipping for orders over $75, all you need to do is input the code SHIP20, in other words, SHIP20, all caps, at checkout to apply that discount, and it will take the shipping charges off. So that's really, really great savings. And there's still time to get gifts for the holiday season. If you're a little bit behind, that's okay. I've got you. I usually send orders out the day they're ordered or the next morning. Now, both of those things, again, are at my website, prairiearomatherapy.com, under the aromatherapy shop. As far as the different categories on sale, under the men's category, I have some really fun things. I have a couple of shaving mugs with brushes and shaving soap that is filled with chlorella, which is a really great treatment for your skin. And then along with that, there's beard oil. There's an aftershave, there's a cologne. So there's lots of things specifically for the men in your life to be able to give them a little bit of some pampering as well, because they deserve that too. And everything smells amazing. My husband uses it. I love all of it. The soaps, pretty self-explanatory. I've got a couple different goat milk soaps. I've got shaving soap for men or women. I've got my customer favorite. I've been making it since the very beginning of my business, and that is the olive oil soap. So check out those different options that are available to you right now under that category. All of the soaps are super fatted, which means they have extra fat that's left over after the chemical reaction to make the soap, which means that they won't be drying to you. So if you've not used soap before because you're afraid of it drying out your skin, this is not like what you've experienced in the past. In fact, most soaps out there on the market are in fact detergents and not soaps. But that's a conversation for another time. And then the other category that's on sale at that 20% off with that coupon code STAR20 is the Elemental Aromatherapy line. And the reason that I chose to do that is because we are at a shift and a change in the seasons right now, which means that as things are shifting and changing outside, things are also shifting and changing within our bodies. The things that served us during fall season are not going to serve us in the same way in winter. In winter, there's other purposes, there's other things that we need to be aware of when it comes to living our best life and leveraging what we can out of the season. The Elemental Aromatherapy line is divided into the 5 elements of Chinese medicine, and during the season of winter, we might want to be looking at something like fire, maybe a little earth, or maybe even air, depending on how you're feeling. So those are 3 of the options that would be really great going forward into winter season. And then the third thing that I have for you is also what we're going to be talking about today, and that is that I have a new free resource for you. This is what it looks like. It's called the Winter Solstice Check-In, though this doesn't need to just be used on the solstice itself. This can be used anytime this winter that you feel like, oh my gosh, things feel out of control. I need a reset. I feel like a crazy person. I feel like my wellness is spinning out of control. My mind is crazy. Or maybe you're just wanting to be more mindful and live more intentionally, which I think right now is an extra especially hard thing to do for many of us if we're home working from home with our families. So this is a resource that I designed for you to be able to check in with yourself. The whole first page here is a bunch of reflective prompts. So I'm asking you things about gratitude and also giving you a chance to think about exactly what you want to get out of winter season for the next 3 months, with dates and timelines, writing down different events that you want to attend, different educational opportunities that you want to check out. And it's also giving you a chance to talk about things that you know are not working for you in your life and things that you know that you want to commit to. So that's the first page of this resource. The second page is really fun, I think. And this is a page that's going to be very exciting for anyone who is wanting to dip their toe into living more of an Ayurvedic lifestyle, or a lifestyle that is in harmony with the elements, as we were talking about. So both of those things I've learned about through traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda. So there's different opportunities for you to go through and adjust your Ayurvedic routine for winter season, talking about things you might need to add to your routine to help with your wellness for winter, then things that you're going to want to subtract from your routine for winter. So an example of something that we would want to subtract from our routine for winter is probably pretty straightforward, but something like cold drinks, right? Cold drinks are going to lower our core temperature. In Ayurveda, they actually caution against iced beverages because they cause something called ama in your system, which is kind of like a toxic sludge. This is something that's even further amplified in winter because we are moving less. Circulation is already a challenge with the cold weather externally. So, what we want to do is not to cool down the body any further with cold beverages. We actually want to warm things up with warm beverages, more spices in our food, cooked foods, and things of that nature. But there's much, much more that goes into an Ayurvedic routine. Then there's a little bit there at the end talking about how you want to prepare your space for the winter. So a lot of us do this naturally when we decorate for the holidays, but not all of us decorate for the holidays. Not all of us are celebrating a holiday. But I do think that a seasonal change is always an opportunity, not necessarily because of any religious or spiritual implication, but just simply because it is one of those 4 cross points of the year where we can say, okay, this is an opportunity for me to check in with myself and to make the changes that I want to make. And I think one of the most profound things that we can do for ourselves right now, especially in the environment that we're in, with spending so much time at home, and this is even more time at home than we typically spend in the winter, is to be really intentional with how we're using our space. What do we need to declutter? What do we need to clean in order to not have an energy drain every single time we're looking at that area? What do we want to spruce up? What needs a fresh coat of paint? Maybe I want to reorganize my furniture. I always love reorganizing my furniture. I don't know why I love it so much, but I love it. It just completely changes the feeling and the flow of a space. What can I eliminate that's not working for me and my family anymore in the space? What can I add to the space in terms of what natural elements can I bring in? What holistic elements can I bring in? Maybe I want to do some smudging and clear my space. Maybe I want to think about maybe doing some simmer pots on my stove or doing some specific types of diffusion of essential oils. Maybe I want to be burning incenses and resins as we go into winter. We want more of that dry fire element to be present in our homes. How are you going to stoke your home fire? Basically, I think this is a really, really essential thing to be thinking about as we move into winter. And it is always, and it always has been in human history. And we take the terminology of hygge from Danish culture. That's the idea of creating a warm, cozy space and time where you're spending those quieter evenings at home around the fire with your family. We're doing a lot of that. So how can we make that work for us? Thinking about how you can make your space work for us. I even know somebody that she's like, you know what? I've been home with my kids for almost a year now. I have to work from home. This home is too small. They are renting a larger space. They are renting a larger home because they know that they need to do that for their family. Maybe it looks like something like that for you. Maybe you just need a complete change in where you are hunkering down for this coming winter. So whatever you need to do for your space, this gives you an opportunity to check in with that. And then the final question I have on there has to do with how are you going to connect with the divine and community, and how do you want to give back in this season? Now, a lot of us around Christmas time, around the holidays, around Hanukkah, we're already thinking in a tax season, of course, coming up. We're already thinking about how we can give back. It might look differently this year than it has before. Other years, maybe what you were doing was a lot more volunteering out in your community. Perhaps you are not able to do that in the same way right now. And so you need to shift and adjust so that you can still feel in your heart that you're doing things to give back, and look for those places that are needing that extra support and needing that extra help at this time that, because of the climate that we're in, maybe you wouldn't typically think of. Maybe it means actually spending a little bit more at a small local business or a small local restaurant, or getting takeout a couple more times a month from a healthy local restaurant or something along those lines. Or maybe the charities that you normally support are needing extra help because they haven't been able to fundraise in the same way. There's so many different ways that we can look at how we give back and contribute. So this is one of my favorite things to create for you all. I created something similar to this in fall. This is also available on my platform, my online teaching platform. The Winter Solstice Check-in can be found at bit.ly/winter check-in printable. Winter check-in printable. So bit.ly/winter check-in printable. And that should bring you right to the page for this winter solstice check-in that we just went through. And like I said, I also created a similar resource in the fall, and I had a lot of really great feedback from those of you who used that resource, that it really helped you to zero in on what was important to you during that time. I think we often live under the impression and the idea that the things that we want are just sort of going to happen. And I think especially right now, that is simply not true. We have to learn to be very intentional with how we're going to spend our time and our resources and our mental focus. And that is what this resource is designed to help you do. I use these too. My husband used this in the fall, and then we did it together as a couple and decided as a couple what we wanted our priorities to look like together. So he did his own, I did my own, and then we went out for a date night. That was when you could go out for date nights, and we had a glass of wine outside at the winery, and we talked through the different things that we both were thinking about, and it was very interesting to see the things that it brought up. It brought up things that maybe we're a little bit deeper under the surface that we wouldn't have taken the time to dig for otherwise. And because of that, there's been some really interesting fruit that's come of just doing this check-in. My husband has started to do a lot more creative sculpting, metal sculpting. He's been much more consistent with his blog, and he's been much more consistent with his wellness routine. For myself, I feel like this solstice check-in helped me to remember that I needed to be intentional about relationships and about connecting with people, because it's not going to happen just on its own right now, and adjusting what that looked like. And it also helped me to get really crystal clear in my business about what I want to be able to offer to you all in the future. And as I've gotten more clear about those things, more things have come to me in clarity. Another reason why I think this resource is so timely is it's not only the winter solstice coming up this next, however you want to calculate it, Sunday night into Monday. We also are going to see the Christmas star for the first time in a long time, and the Christmas star is something called the Great Conjunction, which is when Saturn and Jupiter come close enough in the night sky that in our view, from our view on Earth, they almost look like the same thing. It's going to be really, really bright. And you can look this up and figure out for where you live and in your time zone and all of that when you should see this. But I understand it should be fairly obvious because it's going to be quite bright. Now, I don't follow any kind of astrology. It is not where I feel called to at all. But what I do find really interesting is that what I'm hearing from those communities right now is a lot of buzz about this being an opportunity to be very intentional about what we want to be bringing forth into the world, what we want to be essentially manifesting in the world right now, instead of giving into our fears about what we think could happen with this or that thing that's happening in the world. This is an opportunity for us to ask very clearly from the divine what we want to be seeing, and then to move forward with energy and action toward those things. And that is exactly what this winter solstice check-in should help you to do. So I hope that you go and download this for yourself. It's completely free. It's, again, you can find it at bit.ly/winter check-in printable. And I hope that that's super fun for you to go through. I also hope that it causes a lot of soul searching, and it might even bring up some uncomfortable stirring of emotions, of things that you need to face, things that you need to address going into winter season. And that brings me finally to the purpose of winter season. So the purpose of winter season is to store. The purpose of winter season is to store. So it's the opposite of the summer, which is our very, very busy time of the year. This is a time when we go inward. This is the time when we're designed to be less active, to work less, and to do more of that internal work. For some of us, that's going to be facing our fears about things that we've been avoiding. For some of us, that's going to be drawing up and sketching and scaffolding plans for things that we want to bring to fruition later in 2021. Whatever it looks like for you, this is the season to dive into that stuff. It is actually when our bodies, our minds, and our souls are most primed for this. And again, if this is something that you're interested in learning more about, In addition to this Solstice checklist, I've listed on the checklist a couple of different options for you. One is that winter session of the Intuitive and Seasonal Living Academy. This is where we dive really, really deeply into the Ayurveda, the traditional Chinese medicine, the aromatherapy for winter season, but then also we bring in more of that personal development aspect. So if you print off this checklist and you love it, you definitely need to check out the winter session of the Intuitive and Seasonal Living Academy. And you can find all of those courses at bit.ly/AE Collective. AE Collective is what you're looking for. Or you can simply just do a Google search for the Arcadia Empowerment Collective. So many other things that I could share with you. Don't forget that we have that members only group going on right now, that you get a monthly sound bath, a recipe, and an exclusive discount only to members for any apothecary products. The discount this month is awesome, so you don't want to miss out on it. All of that content is ready and available for you now, so you can go to bit.ly/members collective and you can get yourself enrolled in that. And the really great thing about that right now is that I'm offering $10 off for subscriptions, and that is not just for this month, that's for all months going forward. If you subscribe this month, you will have $10 off for your lifetime on that subscription. Starting in January, it will go back up to full price. So you want to take advantage of that discount as well. So many amazing things, so many great things that I can offer you right now. I'm just so excited. And there's some really, really big things coming up. So you don't want to miss out on future announcements that are coming soon, soon, soon. So always make sure that if this has been helpful to you, that you hit that notification bell so that you're always getting up to date on whatever's going on in the apothecary. I always appreciate those 5-star reviews on your podcast platforms, and I will see you next time.